Ronald Reagan was 73 when he stood for re-election as President of the United States in 1984. And here's how he addressed the issue of his advancing years during a presidential debate against his opponent, Walter Mondale.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
Of course, Ronald Reagan went on to score another term in office with a landslide victory. But using the skills and experience of older workers is something that most Australian companies are reluctant to do, according to a new survey. The Victorian branch of the Australian Institute of Management has found that just over 3/4 of organisations here have a gap in their workforce skills, but most prefer to rely on training programs rather than tap into the experience of mature-aged workers. The report comes as the federal government prepares to roll out its jobs bonuses scheme, which will give employers $1,000 if they give a worker who's 50 or over a job for at least 3 months. Susan Heron is the CEO of the Institute in Victoria. She says it's a skills blind spot for the majority of companies.
Well, it's a blind spot because what employers aren't doing is utilising a very valuable and available resource that is at their disposal, and one that can address what is very apparent and being spoken about so often, and that is the chronic skill shortage that we're facing in Australia today.
Just to be devil's advocate, is that because companies think that older workers are too set in their ways and they might be just unwilling to adapt? Is that why they're reluctant to take them on or back on?
I'm not sure that they're reluctant to take them back on. I think that certainly they haven't focused on what may be on offer with these workers. Sometimes it's a matter of, well, these people have worked and now they should be going off and, enjoying their retirement. But the reality is that the older worker also wants to be involved. They want to work too. A lot of focus to date has been on the younger worker coming in, skilling them up and what to do with them and how to help them in their careers. So what we're saying is that the older worker, the retired or the retiring worker, is a wonderful person to be able to mentor and help people with their know-how and also their contact base.
Did you find that those companies who did take on older workers, were those older workers there as a mentor to help and advise younger employees, or were they themselves working on the coalface, so to speak?
The companies that took on the older workers use them in a variety of ways. They can use them directly in the workplace, involved with the process, but also as mentors or coaches. And it's in that latter capacity that the older worker has a lot of scope, because one of the ways of doing this, and doing this to the advantage of both the employer and the older worker, is that the company can be flexible with how it engages with the older worker.
And your survey also looked at which skills companies were most lacking. What did you find there?
Well, leadership stands out at the top. Then there are the more specific skills such as project management generally, and communication skills also come out as areas that the survey respondents thought were a real shortage in organisations and needed to be attended to.
Susan Heron, thank you.
Thank you very much.